Hey there, record loving friend. Oh my gosh. Just an epic day today. I just came off of a tour, a record store tour, and it was an epic day. Super fun. And I'm gonna recap it here just for fun. Really groovy day with a really cool cat named Rabin. Very nice dude. And coming to Japan from overseas and set up by his wife, a surprise present. He didn't know this had all been set up for him until I think yesterday. And I don't know how I'd feel about it if somebody like styled me out with a tour with a stranger, planning to spend all day with somebody who you don't know, and how's that going to go over? Not to mention, like, the guy had a few things that he was like slightly concerned about because he's in good health but not in the greatest health, and he like didn't want to overdo himself. And anyway, when he found out yesterday that he was going to be hanging out with me all day, who he already actually knew from YouTube, he said, that should be fun. He said. And but I think he's very, very genuine, cool, earnest guy. Oh no, I'm getting ready to go through a long tunnel. I'm definitely going to lose signal. Okay, it's not that long, but I'm definitely going to get choppy, so I'm going to just hang out while I'm going through the tunnel, and then when I come out, I'm going to finish this story. But yeah, here, you guys can go through the tunnel with me. Nice skyline on the right here. Beautiful 80s, 90s era skyline. Rolling in on Shinjuku, heading back home, coming from Ginza. I'll let you guys see this a little bit more. This is Shinjuku Station we're rolling up on. And right to my right is Disc Union Shinjuku, the big Disc Union flag shop. Closed already. It's 8:25, closes at 8 o'clock. We're driving over the like 16 tracks of Shinjuku Station right now. And as we come around this corner, you'll see 3 towers off in the distance with sort of triangles on the top of them. That is the New York bar where the famous Lost in Translation jazz club scenes were shot. So anyway, this lovely wife bought her husband a hangout. And we went, and just to recap it here a little bit, I went and picked him up in Ginza. Why is this not working? And then we went directly to Tokyo Station, which is right there, and the Imperial Palace, which is right there. And he said, "Oh, I saw your itinerary that you made up, and it looks fun, and I'm good to go. And I noticed the Budokan's on there, and I want to go see the Budokan." I said, "It's right here, man. Let's go to the Budokan." So we went over to the Budokan and shot some photos over there, and it was fun to talk about how the Budokan was built in 1960, was finished in maybe like 62 or 63 or 64, and for the 64 Olympics, I think. And it's quite a brutal building, and there's nothing like wooden or traditional about it, really. It's a big concrete sort of, it almost has this like Soviet almost brutality to it. It's pretty harsh. It's softened by this patina, copper roof and this big gold ball on the top of it, but it's quite a brutal building. And it's not some ancient piece of Japanese antiquity architecture. It's like it was brand new in 60 whatever, and it was built for martial arts. And it was built, I think, primarily for sumo. And sumo is, I don't quote me on this, but at its heart, it's fought for the kami-sama, the god. It has some religious implications. When you go into the sumo ring, you purify it with salt before you go into the ring and wrestle. And there's a lot of Shintoism sort of imagery, and it's connected to the imperial line, and you're wrestling basically for the emperor. So when the Beatles went to play there in 1964, because it was the biggest venue that they could play in Tokyo at the time, a lot of people considered that they were desecrating the legacy, the 2-year-old legacy of the Budokan. And there was a bit of controversy about it, considering it was sort of connected to the Shinto shrine, and these valueless, hoodlums were coming over to deface the Japanese way of the emperor. And anyway, we went to the Budokan, which is really groovy. Then we kind of zigzagged around town a little bit through the middle of town, went by Jingu Stadium and the 2020 Olympic Stadium by Kengokuma, and then down Omotesando, which is sort of the Champs-Élysées of Tokyo, and saw the big fashion houses and Tiffany and Louis Vuitton and these kind of things. And then we drove up through Yoyogi and saw the park and the stadium the gymnasium from 1964 that had this incredible, how to describe it, this beautiful rooftop made by Tange. And then we went out to Kichijoji. We basically meandered our way out to Kichijoji, and on the way to Kichijoji we stopped at a book off and did a little book off dig, and then we stopped at Omiya Hachimangu, a kind of lesser but important shrine in Tokyo, lesser than Meiji Jingu, but still a very important and beautiful shrine. I'm guessing it was one of the important shrines right when you were coming into Edo, or when you were leaving Edo. It was the last outpost of a shrine before you went on the Sando road that took you all the way to Niigata or Nagano Castle or one of these places. Anyway, a nice little cultural stop, and then on to Kichijoji, and the whole way we're just having a great conversation. Really cool cat, and quite a knowledgeable dude, knowledgeable about music, knowledgeable about his career, knowledgeable about life. And finally we rolled up in Kichijoji and parked at HMV and went directly to Disc Union, because Disc Union has such a Kichijoji's Disc Union has the kind of, I think, the biggest impact of all the disc unions. It just has, like, right when you walk in the doors, it's just like boom, it's got just an enormous spread of music. The same way that kind of Power Records does in Shibuya, but I think it's even more impressive. I think Kichijoji has the best one, and I kind of wanted to give him that sort of bum, 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 and he wasn't duly impressed. And we both scored some records there. I scored live LP on LP, Live Fish's LP. They have a series of live recordings that they're putting out on wax, which it'd be perfectly fine as a streaming song, but it happens to be of a song that I really like. It's two sides. It's two sides of it must be 45 RPM, but it's two sides of a record and it's one song. And it's the story of the ghost, and it's at Radio City Music Hall from, I think, 98, and it's supposed to be like an incredible jam. I don't think I've ever heard it before. And it's like just legendary. And so I found it for really cheap at Disc Union, and I was like, yes, I've been wanting to get this for so long, but I never wanted to fork out for it, and I didn't really want to pay full price for it, and they had it for really cheap. So I scored that, and I found a really cheap copy of Happy End's Ude Men, and I just love that record so much, and I wanted to give it to the dude. I was just like, I don't want to argue about it, and I never get that. This record is not usually this cheap, and I don't know if this is a particularly great repressing. I don't think it's definitely not an original, but I can afford to splurge and give it to you because this is a great price. So I just like scored him a record, and then we went back over to HMV, and where the car was parked. Oh my God, we had a little episode at the HMV. We go back to HMV, and my friend Nozomi's working, and she's like, hey, what's up? And had a nice long chat with her, and she helped us score some records. Hey, Psycho Platter's in the house. What's up? Good day to you, fine sir. The jewel of the Ozarks. Our jewel of the Ozarks. I was just saying, Paul, that I'm on a coming off of a all day long record shopping spree with a guest coming over from Tokyo, a client, if you will, who's coming on a Tokyo record shuttle service that I'm offering to people who want to come over here and cover basically twice the amount of ground in half the amount of time. I mean, to see all the record shops that we saw today would have taken, there's no way you could have done it on the train. You would have been exhausted. And we had a car, and we had snacks, and we had pretz and pokis and dark chocolates and water and kakipi, and we had a place to keep our records after we went, shopped, got them. It's funny because when you go on these things, you actually have to buy records yourself, because nobody wants to like shop by themselves. You can be like a partner in crime, but you also need to buy some records, because it doesn't feel good to just go around and buy records by yourself while there's another dude just hanging out. It's like a weird feeling, right? I see some people. Let me get to a stoplight and I'll read these comments. Nice to see you guys who are here. Thank you for the comments. I'm just decompressing a little bit on my way home. This won't last very long, but I've got about 10 or 15 more minutes. Wanted to come on and recap my amazing day with this cool cat. Billy Pap 2942. Hello. Okay, cool. Another message retracted. Hello, nice to see you. Thanks for the comment. Johnny L in the house. Johnny, shouldn't you be sleeping? Isn't it a little bit too early to be on streaming? Shouldn't you be sleeping? Are you getting up? Is it like 5 in the morning there, 6 in the morning, something like that? So after we go out to this little satellite Kichijoji disc union, we go back to HMV, and like I said, we saw my friend Nozomi. She kind of helped us out with some records. We talked about music. We just we're talking about music, me and my homie Rabin, and he scored a bunch of records. I scored a record. He was looking for a cover of a Japanese art. He was looking for a Japanese artist. I'm gonna botch his name. Let me think. Hideki Sano, maybe. Japanese vocalist Hideki Sano, maybe sort of like a Tom Jones of Japan, a sort of Neil Diamond, and he covers Honesty, Billy Joel's Honesty, and he loved this as like a kid. I don't know how he found his way to this cover, but he was like looking for it, and it was kind of a rare cut, and Nozomi, my friend Nozomi, helped us find it. We found it on a live record. It's only on a live record, so when we found it, it's apparently a fairly rare record, but they had one, and it was cheap, and so he scored a record there. I don't know if I got anything. And then we went from HMV and drove the car over to Coconuts, Kichijoji, and had a nice long hang at Coconuts, really groovy place. And I scored a Christmas record. I got the John Denver. I have John Denver and the Muppets Christmas, but this was just John Denver's Christmas album without the Muppets, and it has Holy Night on it, and it was 400 yen, which is like $2.50, and I want to hear John Denver sing Holy Night. I want to hear that. Da 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 da. I want to hear the whole thing. So I was excited to score that. It's 6:30 a.m. here. Okay, I should be sleeping. You're okay. You're not too bad. Johnny L. Hey Billy. Hey, howdy, Paul, kind sir. There's a Coconuts in Japan. How cool. Yeah, there's 3 Coconuts. And Gary Harris in the house. Good evening to you, fine sir. I'm just recapping my record store day with a person who took me up on the record style service, the Tokyo Record Style shuttle, the concierge guide taxi, Tokyo Record taxi service. And we had an amazing day. So after Coconuts, he scored a couple records at Coconuts. I scored the John Denver record. We started talking about Hiroshi Nagai. He's a famous artist who did a lot of covers of records in Japan, particularly these kind of vibrant, a little bit like it's their illustrations, their illustrated artworks that are on the cover of heaps of Japanese records, and he had a bunch of copycats or kohais, his sort of juniors, who copied his style, Nagai-san. And Nagai painted these scenes of like poolside. They got a little bit of a California vibe, like poolside, a kind of like Hollywood Hills life. They're like these kind of like quiet California vibe album covers that have palm trees, and they're pink and pastel, and it's meant to evoke a feeling of the era, which was probably 1978 to 1988, the boom era of Japan, where people were so well off that they were almost disaffected. And yeah, just a nice little chat over a few of these album covers. I pulled out H.E. Otaki's A Long Vacation as an example of one of the works, which is really cool. Great great Japanese record by H.E. Otaki, amazing producer, kind of a I hate to do this, but like a, you know, I don't know, a big time producer in Japan from the 70s, 60s and 70s and 80s. And then I suggested we go grab some okonomiyaki, or some, like, just find some interesting izakaya or some cool place to eat. And Raveen said, hey, I'm really embarrassed to suggest this, but I noticed we passed a Denny's on the way here. And we used to have Denny's in my neck of the woods, and we don't have them anymore. And I would love to go check out what a Japanese Denny's is like, but I'm embarrassed to suggest it because it seems like just so scoffable. And I was like, no, let's go to Denny's, absolutely. And Denny's is like infinitely better than Denny's here is like infinitely better than Denny's back home. And so we go there, and the menus, it's like hamburgers with daikon and shiso leaves, and you know, it's like properly good food for Denny's. I mean, I don't know if it's, anyway, it was like we had a wonderful, nice lunch with dessert. We both got a sundae for dessert, which was fun. And then he was really keen to get that Billy Joel record that was the record store day, and I was sure it was sold out everywhere, but I thought maybe we just might get lucky and there might be like one left in the disc union, you know, Black Friday bins. And so I thought, I know I saw two at Kichijoji, and just a week and a half ago I saw one in Shimokita. I'm sure it's gone, but let's go down to Shimokita and see if it just happens to still be there. Maybe we can luck out. So we ventured off to Shimokita and popped into, no, Gary says, nice video coming soon. No, not for this, unfortunately. This was just a private thing, and this is the video that's coming for it. So unfortunately, no. I won't be making a video for this one, but that's okay. There'll be more videos, but not for this one. But I am gonna go to Tokyo Arts Book Fair this weekend. I'm gonna try to make a video there, so you can expect something out of the Tokyo Recordstyle camp by the end of the weekend. But anyway, after Shimokitazawa's Disc Union, we went down there and we looked for another copy of this Billy Joel live thing that was on Record Store Day. Didn't have it. But there was a couple other records. There was a couple of things there that we were just, it was cool to see. Like, Disc Union in Shimokita is also quite impressive. It's quite a big, it's quite good. So you got to have a little taste of Shimokitazawa. And then we headed towards Red Ring Records, which is in Shinjuku. And the guy who runs Red Ring Records, I'm spacing his name, is a kind of a giant Kiss fan. And my homie Rabin was also a big Kiss guy, and he was like, I want to see this Kiss shop. But it was like 5 o'clock traffic, and we just like couldn't. We were gonna get stuck in there, and he wanted to do Tower Records as like a grand finale. And he said, what do you think? Should we? I said, maybe we're gonna get in a pickle here, and we need to pick one of two shops. You know, what we gotta pick. What do you think? Do we go to the Kiss place, Red Ring Records, or do we go to Tower? And he said, oh man, you pick, I don't know. And I said, no man, you gotta have the best, you gotta decide what you want, you know, it's all about you. And he said, well, I have so many Kiss records, and it would be cool to like see what OBs they have and what Japanese only stuff they have, but I don't want to miss going to Tower, you know, the legendary Tower Records. So I said, let's do it. So we busted a U-turn, skipped Red Ring Records, and headed down to Tower in Shibuya. And we drove through the big crossing and saw the lights and saw the JDM cars and all the Mario karts and all the bustling people of the bustling streets of Sentagai. And then went into tower, 6th floor, and saw all the records and just had a nice dig in tower and had a nice hang. And I scored a present for my wife at Tower Records, something that she doesn't have. I wonder how she's gonna. I wonder if she's gonna be. I wonder how it's gonna go over. I bought a record for my wife, and she doesn't own a single record. She's not interested in records. She doesn't hound me about records at all, but she just doesn't. She's got no interest. I don't even know if she knows how to work the record player. But I know the record. I know the band that I got her. She's gonna be so stoked. She loves this band called Mrs. Green Apple, and they're huge in Japan right now. Kind of a J-rock, kind of a boy band a bit. I don't know if I like them, but my son and my wife love them, and they just had a new release on. Oh shit, I shouldn't say this. They might be watching this. I shouldn't say. I do occasionally get a like on my stuff from my anonymous my son's anonymous accounts. He watches this sometimes. I hope you're not watching, bud. That's funny. So then I went and dropped Rabin off back at the hotel, and I'm just driving home to hang out with you guys and say good night. Is everybody good? Is everybody good? Okay, nah, it sounds like it was a good time. It was a great time, Gary. Thanks for saying so. I'm beat. I feel good. I'm energized. You know, we were talking about like Amy Winehouse, and we're talking about that, like that Heart performance at the Kennedy Center Awards when Hart and Jason Bonham did Stairway to Heaven. Lenny Kravitz did Whole Lot of Love, that one where Robert Plant cried when the bowler hats came up, and incredible performance by Hart. And you knew, have you guys seen that performance? You know the one I'm talking about? And you knew that they had rehearsed it a dozen times, and but they never they never put it all out there until the night of. They saved a little bit, for the occasion. And there's a moment where I don't know the Heart gals' names, but the singer, she's just like da da da, just lets it super loose, lets it fly, and it's the moment it's the crescendo of the performance, and you just know that she never went that big, and that's the one that I think probably captured Robert Plant's emotions, and she must have come off of that thing like exhausted. And we were having a conversation about how his line of work, he's in the medical field, he's a surgeon, and I'm not that I can compare my work at all to his, but it's the kind of work where you're on 1,000% going, and you're directing, and you're going, and you're saying, and you're spewing you're spewing passion. You're just erupting with charisma and passion, by your own will and also by the beyond. It's just flowing out. You're in a state of flow, right? It's just like it's all happening. And then, if you were to be able to step out of yourself and see yourself in this moment, you might say, whoa, look at me go, good grief. And others might see you and say that as well. They're like, whoa, man, this guy's got something happening. And then you exhaust the fuel, and you just get to the end of the thing, and and you feel amazing. And then you say, all right, everybody, that's a wrap. Amazing. and then you go around the corner and you just collapse. And I wonder if like surgeons have that same thing, where they're just like, they're concentrating so intensely on saving somebody's life that do they have a feeling when, you know, it's like they're losing weight. They're concentrating so hard while they're doing surgery that they can't, they're actually like burning, you know, burning calories just by the pure concentration. It was a really fun conversation. Really, really, really cool cat. Super cool cat. I'll show you the records I scored. Oh man, I'm a bit beat. Hey, here's my recommendation. Yuzu soda. This is a little bit of a treat, a little bit too sweet. It's like a lemony soda. It's like soda. It's not just like bubbly water. It's sweet, but I've had, this is my third one. Not today, but third one in the last couple months. I've bought it 3 times. Pretty tasty. You guys know yuzu, right? Yuzu is a Japanese citrus fruit, not quite lemons, not quite lime. It's got like a more fragrant thing than a lemon. It's real nice. Let's see here. Oh my God. There's a lot of records here. Okay, so this was my present to my lovely, lovely, already wrapped Tower Records. In the Tower Records bag, whoops. Then Rabin was a huge Billy Joel fan, and he actually, bless his heart, he bought me a record from Disc Union. Nice, I'm stoked. This is Fish, recorded live May 22nd, 2000, Radio City Music Hall, New York, New York, Ghost. This is LP Live Fish on LP. And what is this? Live Fish on LP, long play Live Fish. And does it say it's Ghost? It doesn't say it's the Ghost. Live Fish long play 04. Okay, so it just tells you it's number 4. But I know this is the Ghost. That's crazy that they don't tell you what it is. Okay, on side B, side A, Ghost for 16 minutes and 10 seconds. And side B, Ghost continued for 11 minutes and 52 seconds. So it's 28 minutes of Ghost, if you know the tune Ghost. And it's supposedly like an epic jam. And I've never heard it. And we were just talking about Radio City Music Hall because he was going through the Neil Young records and he pulled out Greendale. And I was like, oh, I saw that show in Radio City Music Hall. And he was like, that's cool. And then 5 minutes later, I went over to dig in the peas and found this. And I had just said the words Radio City Music Hall. So I thought, okay, this is beaconing me. This is calling out to me. So I scored that. Pretty cheap. Not a super desired record. Then Rabin gave me a copy of 52nd Street, which is really nice with the Obi. I have heaps of Billy Joel records. Not heaps, but I have a handful. And he was just a giant fan. And I guess he was touched that I bought him a copy of Happy End at a previous record store. So he scored this for me. I thought I was really touched. And this, of course, has You Had to Be a Big Shot, Didn't You? And it has Honesty, which is the tune that he wanted to buy. So I think it was a little bit of a sentimental purchase. My Life. That was on Bosom Buddies, right? And then Stiletto, I don't know, Half a Mile Away. Rosalinda's Eyes, I don't know this record so well, but with the Obi, which is kind of nice. I hope it was very affordable. This record is probably one of the most pressed records of all time. But the Japanese Obi makes it pretty cool. Nestle Choco Hot. It's got like a little advertisement for hot chocolate on it. That's kind of funky. New York 52nd Street, Billy Joel holding a trumpet. The piano man's holding a trumpet. So, thank you for that, Rabin. That was very nice. And then I scored the John Denver Rocky Mountain Christmas, as I said, because it has, I mean, just like, it looks great. I have a growing Christmas record collection that I'm very proud of. I'm getting to be more proud of it. It's properly good. I've got like the reggae Christmas, the blues Christmas, the Muppets Christmas. I need like maybe, I saw a Kenny Rogers Christmas. I was like, ooh, that would be good. Dolly Parton Christmas would be good. Maybe a hip hop Christmas record. I would, so I want a little bit of everything. But I mean, 400 yen. I don't think I could have gone wrong with that. Do you buy Christmas records? Does anybody buy Christmas records out there? I'll be headed down to the record store after work today. LOL. Twister Sister Christmas. That would be funny. Twisted Sister Christmas. Then we went to Replace Records. They have a killer record store bag. Replace Records. I forgot to mention that. We went to Replace Records. And this is, I should know this, what this is. I've forgotten what this is. But this is something kind of iconic. I don't know if this is just a silly design or if this is like something that means something. Replace record. This might be something iconic from a famous manga. I'm not really sure. Or it might be just his own original design. But I went in there today and there was a funny cat named Yohei that was in there that looked like Eiichi Otaki. He had this big kind of jaw and he was a real funny guy. And I walked in and Kojima-san, who runs Replace Records, was like, "Oh, Brian, nice to see you." And it was fun. I got to talk to every record store owner. It was really fun. And, but he said, "Oh, you're so lucky. This is Yohei. He's a comedian." And I said, "Oh, you look familiar. Are you on TV?" And he said, "No, I'm very not famous comedian. I'm very unpopular comedian." And I said, "Oh, I think you look familiar." And he told me, "No, we're not very famous." And so I said, "Okay, well, what is it? Manzai? Manzai is like a Abbott and Costello, like a comedy duo type of comedy in Japan, a type of stand-up where there's like the straight guy and then the silly guy, the wise guy and the wise guy, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's like the two-person, and so he and his buddy, they talk about records on their comedy show. Their comedy show, I guess, is about records. I think I might be mistaken about that, but I think he said that he's an Uber driver, and he drives around and stops at record stores on at various points on his Uber drive every time, and he buys. I'm not sure. I definitely didn't get this right because I asked him about it. I heard the Japanese that I heard was that he buys unpopular records and he talks about them. He does like a VC channel, basically shtick on stage and talks about really bad records. And I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I'd love to see that. And but I think I misunderstood him, and I think he said, no, I don't talk about unpopular records. I'm unpopular. I thought, and I was like, oh, sorry, I misunderstood you. But at any rate, I don't know if it'll come in. I'll have to let's see here. I'll bring you guys into the light. Not sure that's gonna work. Kyohansha. Is it coming in? Kyohansha. And it's Yohei and somebody else. And they have the imperial flag around this thing, so it's probably a little bit off color. Kunikyo and Yohei. I bet they have like a little samurai I bet it's in slightly bad taste. I bet it's kind of funny. Anyway, met up with him, and then Kojima-san was very happy to have both of us in his record shop, and he said, "Oh, can I take a picture of you guys? I want to put on my social media." So if you go follow Replace Records in Tokyo, if you care to, Replace Records, you might see, I don't know if he's posted it or if he's tagged me, but you might see me and this funny guy, Yohei-san, from the comedy troupe Kyohansha. But I was in I was in Replace Records, like digging through records, trying to find something I really wanted, and I couldn't find it, and I didn't want to leave empty-handed, and I kept like digging around, and I just couldn't find it. I didn't have enough time, and I was trying to rush to get out of there, but I ended up seeing a program from a concert for Lou Reed, which looked kind of interesting. So I scored this, and I don't even know what it is. It was very affordable. It was about the price of a 7-inch, and it's the program of the New York show, I guess, in Tokyo. I don't know if it's from his personal collection. I'm guessing not. Let's have a quick look at it. But I just thought, oh, that's affordable, and it's not music, but I don't have anything like this. So Lou Reed is a poet and musician who enjoys using rock and roll as a vehicle for his ideas. He does not enjoy being interpreted by journalists because he believes in the intelligence of his audience and their ability to judge for themselves. Since he is writing these notes, he would prefer to let the words and music speak for themselves. He considers it an honor to play for you, Lou Reed. Okay, so there's Lou in the era. If you know my Lou Reed story, I met Lou Reed, and it was an amazing encounter. Very, very amazing encounter. And oh, look at this. Okay, he's got Lou Reed, Michael Ratke, Rob Wasserman on bass. That's interesting. Rob Wasserman played on Jerry's records. Maureen Tucker on drums. Mo Tucker on drums. Cool. Jeremy Darby on sound and Ethan Weber on lighting design. Okay. Management, Sister Ray Enterprises. Photographer, Warren Abbott, with assistance from Carol Whaley. Cover design, Sylvia Reed. So this is from 1988. Wow, that's kind of cool. He has one Lou Reed. Okay. This is the tour of Japan. So in 1988, in July, he played 6 shows. NHK Hall, Festival de Hall. Where is this? Festival Hall, NHK Hall, and Kawasaki what is that one? Something River. I feel like that's Yokohama Hall. Kawasaki something I'm not sure. Oh man, I never saw that picture before. Playing a weird guitar and having a Harley shirt. It's all Japanese, but it's pretty cool. Okay, wow. I never saw this. That's pretty cool. Japanese program. So these are going to be like, this is a pretty standard thing. If you go to a show like this, and you can buy this for $20, basically in the lobby. A multiple exposure or some kind of composite in a design. Very cool. Lou going off. I was at this exact same spot when I saw Lou Reed. I sat right here, and I have photos of my show, and I'm just about this close to him, and I'm at the same angle, and the guitar is just right there. He's playing a silver sparkly Strat in the pictures that I have of him. Wow, this is cool. I've never seen this. Okay, he's got an opaque, or what do you say? He's got a clear guitar here. Not opaque. And his shirt, what's his shirt say? Is that his shirt says Lou Reed? Okay, he's wearing a Lou Reed shirt. That's pretty cool. And look at this. I've never seen these pictures. Do you guys know these? They might be backwards because I might be backwards on here. Wow, this is groovy. I didn't look at it before I bought it. Okay, so some TV outtakes. These are the lyrics of the songs in Japanese. Wow, that's cool. Dang, that's almost like frameable. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Man, I might put that in a frame. I dig that a lot. Okay, that's worth it right there. Well, he's got some like skinny jeans on. He's got some like Chelsea-ish boots, or maybe those are penny loafers. And he's got his own Lou Reed shirt on. That's fucking cool. Man, this is groovy. More TV outtakes and more lyrics to songs. I should go try to find the concert. If I guess it's been recorded on TV. Now I should go find it. Oh man, groovy. Dang, I feel good about this purchase. Fuck, that's cool. Dang, it's slightly out of focus. The focus is on the microphone. The photographer only I would notice this, but if it has eyes, you gotta focus on the eyes. He focused on the microphone. This is one where you try to sneak it past anybody and try to see if nobody notices. Wicked. Okay. And then here's all the albums. Okay, there's quite a lot. I don't know all these. The Velvet Underground and Nico, of course. White Light, White Heat. The Velvet Underground, 1969, Loaded. I think my favorite album of all time. Max's Kansas City. Velvet Underground Live. Lou Reed 72. I have all. I think I don't have this one. I don't have Live 74. I'd like to get this. It's expensive. Transformer, great record. Berlin, Rock and Roll Animal. I have all three of these. And I don't have Sally Can't Dance. Oh, I'd love that. Coney Island Baby, Lou Reed Live, Metal Machine Music. Okay, I don't have anything. Oh, wait, I've got Best of, Walk on the Wild Side. Do I have anything else? I don't have anything else. Oh, except for New York. Oh, this would be cool. John Cale and Lou Reed. These look like weird middle album. Weird, maybe they're like compilations. The Bells, 1970, Growing Up in Public. I'd never even heard of these records. Rock and Roll Diary, 1969 to 1970. The Blue Mask. I have this one I grew up on. This was my like Lou Reed record as a teenager. Walk on the Wild Side. Do, do, do. Okay, so Michael Radke, you guys help me out. I feel like I've heard his name before. I should know who he is. Michael Radke, who is he? And Rob Wasserman. Rob Wasserman playing the like weird electronic stand-up double bass. And Mo Tucker. I've never seen that picture of her before. Nice, Maureen. These guys were properly uncool. They were like, oh, no fucking what? No. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. You've got to be fucking kidding me. That is crazy. Lou Reed. Okay, he's wearing a Harley Davidson shirt in this picture. On this back image, he's wearing a leather jacket. And this is unfucking mistakably the exact same leather jacket that I have and have had for 20 years. There's no mistaking it. It's a Harley Davidson leather jacket. This is my leather jacket. And I got a picture of Lou Reed wearing it. The exact same one. The same zippers, the same stitching, the same double button. The exact same one. There's no way it could be a different one. It is the exact same one. Crazy. I'll show you guys. I'll show you later. That's so cool. With his mullet. Holy shit, that's so cool. I cannot believe it. I have the exact same leather jacket. Unbelievable. That's crazy. Fuck yeah. I got the same leather jacket as Lou Reed. That's so cool. I wish I had it with me right now. I'm going to make a little video about this. This is cool. I'm going to revisit this. I'm going to make a little video about this again. This was fun to like go through on the live stream. Cool. Well, okay, that's a sneak preview of my video that I'm going to make about it. Are there any more pictures of that? He's wearing suspenders. Lou was a weirdo, man. What a cool, weird dude. I don't even think he knew what he wanted. I don't even think he knew exactly what he wanted. Man, groovy. Okay, well, thank you for letting me share. That's all I got. Man, amazing. Super, super cool. Not that there is anything wrong with that. What are you saying, Billy Pap? 2942? Not there is anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not anything wrong with what? Man, groovy. Very, very groovy. Okay, I'm heading home. Looks like a great day for records. Nice pull. Yeah, man, I am very stoked on that. I'm going to make a little video about that. Yeah, Christmas record for 400 yen. A Billy Joel gift with the Obi and a hot chocolate and an honesty. And, you know, he scored an honesty on his Hiroshi Saijo cover. I forgot the guy's name. And I got an honesty, so that's cool. Honesty. I mean, just to have something that connects me to this amazing, really cool dude who I hung out with today. Oh man, I'm feeling real good about myself. John Denver. I know, a weird haul, I admit, but fun. And a record for my wife. Let's see how she responds. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. Anybody else? Billy Pap didn't make any sense. Billy, I hope you figure it out. Should you be blocked? Billy Pap? You've retracted 4 comments. Is there something like going on? What were you not? Did anybody see his comments? What did they say? Okay, I think that's a weird thing to do. Seinfeld quote. Billy Pap, what's your story? Morning Glory. Do you want to hang around here? Yeah. He was doing a Seinfeld quote. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I get that quote. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That was the. If a grown man wants to be with another grown man, not that there's anything wrong with that. Blah 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 blah. He was talking about. It was the gay episode. Okay, calling it a day. Thanks for hanging out, Gary. Billy Pap, thanks for hanging out. I hope you can pull it together, not have so many retracted messages next time. Psychos, appreciated you dropping by. Johnny L stopped by. Oh shit, I didn't see Mick. A perfect prescription vine. Okay, sounds like a fun day out. Okay, I missed it. Sorry. You gotta keep the dream alive, even if you have a tight budget. I know, man. I was just saying, like, we were saying, you know, going to record stores is just such a privilege. It's just such an important thing to actually, you know. These places are like cultural centers that we need to support. And, you know, if they, I think record stores are doing fine for the most part, I think. I asked Kojima-san how he's doing today. He said, ma. I thought he was saying, I'm doing okay. And I have a feeling he's doing really well. But the fact that, like, you can just as easily go buy these records off of Amazon, there, you miss this chance to, like, experience discoverability, you know, where you're just like, oh, what's this? I don't know what this is. I never would have thought about this. I never would have, you know, known about this. You don't have an opportunity to talk to the record store owner. You don't have a opportunity to be like, you know, maybe buy the record off the turntable that's playing in the. It is very important. Mick, I appreciate your comment. Sounds like a fun day. You have to keep the dream alive, even if you have a tight budget. I had a tight budget. I had a very tight budget, but I spent less than $50, less than probably $40, maybe even less than like. No, I spent like $30. Yeah, and I got like 5 records and a cool book. I did good. I did good today. Today was a good day. But I did get a Christmas present, and that wasn't a spendy record. Not outrageous, but I think it was like the new. Oh, but I had points. The new Mrs. Green Apple record was, yeah, something like 7,000 yen, but I had 1,200 yen off or something, so it was like 58 or something, so it was a good deal. I was stoked. Yeah, keep the dream alive. Sorry about that, Mick. I missed it. Mick's a cool cat. And Psycho Player. Okay, well, thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. Gary, always appreciate you hanging out. I'll see you guys on the next stream. Peace. Bye.